How do you think that as a young person that doesn't know a whole lot about politics, that they can really get a grasp on the full scope of what's going on in their, first of all, in their community, and then on a state and national level?
It's funny because folks don't realize what goes on here. Some of my friends and young folks, we get the voting aspect. It's important to vote, but what we don't remember is that our civic responsibility doesn't end at the ballot box,
Right.
and you have to pay attention to things. But for young folks, something has to directly touch you for you to really see the impact of it. And I think last year with so much that happened with education, people could see, and it was tangible, the results from what we did here with the Metro Council, the things going on in Scotlandville with the sewage plant. People see that and they recognize, okay, these folks that we elect, they can help us out of that situation. They can change our way of life. They can practically change our entire profession. If you're a teacher in Louisiana and you're a young teacher, there's no way that you don't understand the importance of politics now. But not everybody has that experience where it's something that directly impacts you. So for me, I think that I have the responsibility to go out and teach different classes. Even in my social settings, I talk to people about things that we do here so they can understand what it is that I actually do when I'm here. Your tax dollars are being spent, but you don't know what actually happens in Louisiana legislature and Louisiana Senate. And not everybody could come here. I encourage people to come and spend a day, go to a committee meeting, look at some of the issues. And that's why I'm so big on social media, because I talk about certain things, because there's only a small window that the media can report to the general public. They can't get everything that happens here. Even if they wanted to, they just don't have enough time in the day. So it's important for me to put that information out there to try to grasp somebody's attention, and then that starts a dialogue. But I definitely think that you need to, take the time to go to a school board meeting, go to a city council meeting, come here to the legislature to see what goes on. Because, young folks now with the president, we're so impressed by him and his family that we are naturally paying more attention now to federal government. And a lot of times I get questions, what does this mean? The fiscal cliff, what does that actually mean for me? So I'm encouraged because people are actually paying attention and that they're asking questions. But a lot of times I tell people the only way that you really learn is to jump in and get into it. But for those folks that can't get here, it's important that I put the information out there so they can understand what is actually happening in the community.
What does the future look like in the state of Louisiana to you?
It depends. And I say that with all seriousness. The governor will tell you that we have a spending problem here. And what's happening in Louisiana is we have always been a state that had enjoyed legislative independence. And the state of Louisiana, we didn't look like what's going on in Washington. Now, I have my own ideas as to why the president has so much trouble getting things through Congress, but we are seeing that happen here. And in Louisiana, we have allowed our governor to circumvent the legislative process too much. And if we don't take back control of our institution, we're going to see it's going to take us a long time to repair from what Governor Jindal is doing, because now we have a budget problem in Louisiana. We aren't getting a lot of the revenues in, and my Republican colleagues will tell you, oh, Democrats just want to tax everybody. But when you look at the numbers, we're giving out so much money. We're giving out money to large corporations every year, billions and billions of dollars through tax credits and rebates and different things that are disguised as economic development. But I believe if you have a strong education system, businesses are going to come here. If you have a healthy citizenry, people are going to come here. But we're denying people access to health care because President Obama wants it, and Governor Jindal wants to be the president one day. And I don't fault Governor Jindal for his ambitions, because it's up to, like the folks you see on this wall, the legislators, to make sure that we represent the interests of our constituents. And if we don't do that now, I think that we're going to dig ourselves into such a deep hole that it's going to be extremely hard to get out. But we can make decisions right here in this capital that can start to change the tide. And and that takes us, regaining our independence and putting forward good policies. Even if the governor doesn't support it, so what? We're going to go out there and get the votes. And if he vetoes, we're going to come back and we're going to override his veto. But that's going to take a lot of the will of my colleagues before that happens.
So I hear the fight in Ted James right now, the passion.
Yeah.
So what's next for Ted James?
You know, it's right now I'm so focused on being the best state representative that I can be. And when I ran for this office, I knew one day that I wanted to be in politics, but I didn't know when. And people in the community started to say, okay, we need you to do this. There's a brand new district, and you have a connection to Bel Air High School. You have a connection to Park Forest and Greenbrier Elementary because of your work with the students. Let's think about doing something on a greater scale with this brand new legislative district. And for me, I thoroughly enjoy the legislature. I love the work that I'm doing. I know I don't plan to sit in this seat forever. My plan is to be able to represent a larger group of people, and to make sure that the things that we're doing in District 101 spreads out to a larger area. You know, I get questions about different offices all the time. Mayor, you know, 225 put that out there. And for me, the biggest blessing is to hear other folks speak something for you. Because that means that someone is paying attention. You know, I didn't get contacted for that. You know, nobody asked me for my opinion. Nobody asked me for a quote. And what that showed me is there are some folks that are paying attention to what, when I say we, you know, my whole social media is Team Ted. And, you know, I thoroughly believe that I'm here because I had a strong support staff that helped me to realize my dreams. And I'm not just here because I wanted to be here. So when I say we, I still refer to those folks. People are paying attention to what we are doing, and that's good because, you know, I'm here to serve people. As far as mayor president, before that article, it was never something that I really thought about. But if the people of this parish, if I'm encouraged to do that, and you know, I pray about it and talk to my inner circle, it's, you know, the sky's the limit for us. You know, I just want to make sure that I'm doing the best that I can to represent the people and give the students that I interact with so much, give them reason to be excited about school, be excited about their futures, because they see me, and it's, you know, people like you can't be a politician. We've never met a politician before. No one, you know, they'll come and speak to our class, but they don't come and work the concession stand at our school. They don't come to our JV basketball games. They don't come to our dance recitals. And I think that it's incumbent upon me to do that because people did it for me.
So we talked about the serious side of Ted James, the business. What does Ted James do for fun?
You know, I think a lot of the things that I talked about are things I do for fun. I don't miss games or opportunities to go back to my high school, go to McKinley. And a lot of my friends, we still do that. So that's fun to me to go back to a basketball game or a football game. You know, I enjoy TV. You know, I'm a social media and a reality show junkie. And I don't mind telling people that. All of the craziness that we see on television, you go to my DVR, you see that I have it saved. You know, I'm into Scandal right now. Any show that deals with politics, you know, I'm probably watching it. Scandal, The Good Wife, and if I'm not watching, I'm talking about it. I'm tweeting about it. And those are things that I enjoy. When I'm at home, I just like to sit with my remote and just, you know, throw myself in the television.
Gotcha. Well, at the Rouge Collection, we ask a signature question at the end of every interview. And it's, if you could say one thing to every single person in the world, what would it be and why?
I would say, be the change that you want to see. That's one of my favorite quotes from Gandhi. You know, you be the change you want to see in the world. If it's something that you want to see different at your school, you be the person to institute it. If it's something at your workplace, you be the person. If it's something at your church, you be the person to make it happen. And I think that if we all had that attitude, we'd be in a very good place. You know, legislatively, at home, amongst your family. You see something you want, or you believe that needs to be done, go out and do it.
Well, this is Gary Chambers, and I'm signing off with State Representative Ted James. State Representative, we appreciate the time and you taking the time to sit down.
I appreciate you, and I look forward to watching you guys continue to grow. And hopefully this is the start of a good friendship and a bond that we're going to do some great things, starting off in Baton Rouge, but we're going to take off across the state and hopefully the nation.
We appreciate that.
No problem.